Hi, good morning. I'd like to start by giving you an introduction to an Excel worksheet. So what we're going to cover is the most important parts of Excel. I'm going to be using Excel 2016. So whatever I'm doing is pretty much you can follow it even if you're using 2010 or 2013. So just follow what I'm doing, and at the end of and when you're done, just submit whatever I've done. So I'm going to show you the basic of Excel. So here we go. This is a cell called A1. So right here, for example, this is C2. This cell right here is E6. It's called a cell, and you can put in numbers. And what you can do is you can add numbers to it, take averages, minimum, and so on. So what I want to do today is I want to create like a class for us. And what we're going to do is we're going to put up students, give them test grades, and find out the averages, and we'll do some graphing and things like that. All right, so the first step is what we want to do is I want you to highlight the first all the way up to H. Make it, down to number 3. So from A1 all the way to H3. And click right in between and go on to Format Cell. So you go to Format Cell. I want you to click on Alignment and then Merge Cells. Click on, highlight that and say OK. So you'll get the whole cell will be one big block. And I want you to write in there elk 15 grades or something like that. All right, so I'll highlight that. So let's go to Home, and I want you to align. Highlight it. Let's make it big. Let's give it a different blue color. Right? All right, so that's that. So the first thing, let's go to step number 5. We can leave that here if you wanted to. Let's see, can you do that? On this side, bold it. Okay. All right, now I want you to say, for example, here, name. Let's say this is going to be test 1. This is going to be test 2. This is going to be test 3. And this is going to be the final test. And this is going to be the average, or let's say your final grade. Final grade. All right. So let's put in the name. Let's say John, Mary, Adam, Joe, Betty, I don't know, and Sue. Let's assume, let me just highlight, highlight all of these. First of all, you can change the cell just to make sure it fits, so you can move these around a little bit like that. I want all the cells to be right in the middle, so highlight them, click them, and they move right in the middle. You can move the names also right in the middle. So let's say John got a 90 on the first test, 80 on the second, 70, and on the final he has, I don't know, 89. And let's say 85, 72, 50, 74. Okay, let's say Adam had 69, 74, 84, and 46 on the final. Joe had 90, 95, 96. This guy's doing very well. 97. Betty had 70, 75, 65, and 77. And Sue, let's say she had 90, 72, 85, 88 on the final. Alright, let's center all of these grades. So highlight all of them and click on center right here. Or you can do right click. Alright, so first thing I want to do is I want to find out the highest score. So what I'm going to say here, highest grade. Enter. And what you do is just expand the cell a little bit so you can read it. Expand it a little bit more. There you go. So you click right here and you're going to say, alright, to get the highest grade, so you say MAX for, well, first of all, you got to put the equal sign, equal, because that means you want the cell to be equal to the maximum. Okay, so you click on max, maximum, and then you put parentheses, and you want to find out the maximum from B5 all the way to B10. So you write B number 5. Now, if it comes up, actually, so it's actually, that's not B5, that's B6. So B5 is what I want. And now instead of, you can put the colon to B10 and hit enter. So the average is 90, the highest score. So let's say the lowest grade. So you do the same thing. You write equal the minimum, in parentheses, B5. Now, instead of having, you can actually drag this now. Click right here, drag it, and it fills in the cells, and just hit enter. So the lowest grade is 69. And let's say the average. So the average would be, so you write equal average, parentheses, B5, and you drag it down, and that tells you the average is 68. Now I want to do the same thing for everything. So what, for test 2, 3, and the final exam, so you just highlight them, right click, copy, and just go like this. Oops. And it will automatically knows that it's going to, and then go click on paste. It will automatically know that it has to do the ones above it. Let's highlight all of these and center them. I'm sorry. Highlight them and then center the grid. Highlight them to be centered. All right. Now, let's say the final grade. The final, but what I want to do is, here's what I want to do for the final grade. I want to drop the lowest test and then add the final. The lowest, so take the best 2 exams, right? And make that, let's say, 50% of your grade, and the final is another 50%. We'll make it 60%, and the final is 40%. So what I do is I'm going to click right here under John and say equal, and we're going to take a summation of test 1, 2, and 3 and subtract the minimum. So I'm going to take the sum of B5 to, let's say, D5, right? So if I hit enter, this is just the summation. So if I go in and, by the way, if you click here and go on the top and say, I want to subtract the minimum between D5 to D5 and close the parenthesis. So this is the best 2 exam, the combination of them, right? Now you have to divide this by 2. So first of all, you have to close the summation here, and then say divided by 2. So what that gives me is, this is the average of the best 2 exams, which is really this and that, right? So click back in here. Now I want this to be multiplied by 40%. So all I have to do is say times 0.6%, 60%. So this is 60% of his grade, right? And then I want to add E5 to it. So I'm just going to say plus cell E number 5. Enter. E5, but not only automatically, but I have to multiply it by 40%, right? So times, that's the star, the one above the 8, times 0.40%, 0.4. So that's his final grade. So the final grade now, if you look at it, here is the little code for, the formula for it, is you're taking the best 2 grades out of the 3 exams, multiplying it by 60%, and then you're adding 40% of the final. So his final grade is 80. The good thing is, if you did it to one guy, you could do it to the rest. So all you have to do is write copy what you did final grade for John, and then highlight the rest underneath Johnny and right click, paste, and that will automatically do the same thing you did for John for everyone else, right? And then what I do is I want to do the same thing, highest, lowest, and average. I'll highlight these 3, right click, and so I can get the same thing right here. All right, let's center these grades. See how quickly you can do this? Beautiful. That's it. Now, if you want these to be in alphabetical order, you can see Adam is in here, Betty, and so on. So what you do is you highlight all the names, and you say this A to Z, sort them out, just click on it. And you want from A to Z. And then Adam comes up with his grade, and everybody else in descending order. So even if you tucked in the names in different order, and you can actually get them in alphabetical order, right? So there's your grade. And now all I have to do is just change the grade. So if Joe came in and complained to me and he says, "Oh, professor, I didn't really get a 72," or let's say Sue said I didn't get a 72 on the second exam, I really got an 82. So all you got to do is just go in there, if it's true actually, and you change it to 82, and that would automatically change your grade right here, right? Let's say this 80, you change it to 90, right? So that's going to actually change the final grade too, because it's one of the best, right? This 82 didn't do anything to the final grade because it's still the lowest, because the best was the 90 and the 85, right? And so on. Okay, now let's do some graphing. So what you do is you highlight all that you want to graph, and then you go to insert. Look how easy it is. And you click on, let's do a bar graph. Click on that, and let's choose the first one, right? So here's a chart graph. I'm sorry, just lift this up a little bit right here. This is a chart graph that shows Adam's grade, Betty, Joe, John, and so on. You can change the title of the grade, so change that to Out 15 grades. Out 15 grades. Okay, you can highlight. Let's do a different graph. So let's go to insert and let's do a line graph. The first one right here. Oh, well, that doesn't show me much. You can show these line graph. Let's see. Okay, so you can actually change the graphing. Let's say you only want the final, so change that only to the final grade. So here's the final grade. So you see what I did? I just removed it. Removed all the exams so it doesn't lay on top of each other. And I'll put that right underneath here. And I'm going to say right underneath here, the final grade. And to a bar graph. So you can do that as well. Okay? That's really all I really wanted you to do. So if you can do this, that would be great. Finish this up and submit it as assignment number 5, if I'm not mistaken. All right, and keep up the good work, and I'll see you in class.